where we are and how we got here and where we need to go?
Friday afternoon, Rick Kingray called a meeting with staff and some of the citizens that live in the area. And after Friday afternoon's meeting, Rick and I thought to be fair was to actually put a moratorium on issuing the business license until the council could look at the issue a little more. Also, since then, I've talked to some of the people that are in favor of it and some are opposed, but the whole issue is not about not allowing tattoo parlors in Fairhope. We just got through having a noise ordinance debate for 3.5 years, and a lot of that had to do with a restaurant being right next to a residential neighborhood. And so would it be prudent to make sure we have hours of operation and rules in place, exactly where we were going to allow tattoo parlors, if there was going to be any change? Was it going to be B2 only? Was it going to be B1? Or what? Because it's never addressed anywhere within our comprehensive plan or our zoning rules. And so I thought, after talking to Rick, that why don't we just slow the process down, give us some time to look if we wanted to have any regulations or not. And that was the reason Rick and I thought we would move forward with a moratorium for 6 months. If we can get the rules and things in place in 90 days, fine, we lift it then. But I don't think it's fair to anybody if we give a business permit and then we change the rules after the fact. And I think that to be fair to everybody, we get rules together, decide how we're going to enforce this new business, which we never had in Fairhope corporate limits before. There was some talk that we currently have a makeup studio where they actually put this type of strip on your eyes or your lips or whatever for women. And that's a new one on me. And so, but when all that started coming up, I started asking questions. And that's why Rick and I recommended to the council, and he said he emailed just the council members to see if they would consider having a moratorium until this issue could be resolved. Because if we don't do the moratorium, then on the 16th, I believe it is, the Board of Adjustments is actually going to be making the political decision for the residents. And that board is not a political body. It's just supposed to interpret the laws and the rules of what we have on the books. And I don't think it's fair to have that room full of a lot of people are going to be for or against the issue at that meeting, and then that board will have to make a decision. So I thought, my personal thought is to make sure the elected officials of Fairhope are making that decision and not a board. And that's where we are.
I've been dealing with the Board of Adjustments, and we had a great discussion at the last meeting. However, I'll be blunt. My concern is that Mayor Cannon has a great deal of influence over that board, and I feel like I will not be treated fairly. So I'm dubious.
Then you can come back to the council.
Well, agreed, and that's another 6 weeks away, sir. I have to pay rent and utilities on my building. I can't do business until then. And again, I want to address, understood that sometimes this kind of business can be associated with illegal activity, but I have full faith that the police department, especially after that report, perfectly capable of managing this.
The problem being is that we don't have a request for a license.
Yes, you do.
Where is it?
My business license application was submitted on May 18th.
Okay, but I'm saying we don't have it. I don't have it. I don't know what it is.
Okay, I can make sure that you get it, but what is this? Why is that specifically needed at this point?
Well, it isn't on the agenda for us to vote tonight to approve your license.
Okay, it's only.
Let's go through the process.
The vote was, but there was a proposal to deny my license based on the moratorium.
This is a motion to have a moratorium on having tattoo parlors.
Denying my license.
That's all that was there. It had nothing to do with license.
It has entirely to do with license. It says right so in the proposal there that it was specifically to deny the granting of licenses for tattoo parlors, strip clubs, and adult entertainment.
And And what I'm saying, and I feel that the council is going in this direction, we don't do anything with that recommended ordinance. You go
Understood.
right along, you go to the adjustment. If you don't like what they give you, then you come back to the council in 2 weeks.
Understood. Okay.
Okay? Is that the general feeling?
If it goes to the Board of Adjustments, it goes to circuit court, it doesn't
Not
come
go
back.
back to us. You have to go
Well,
to the
either way, if ultimately it's denied there, either way it's going to court, so.
There's no way we can do it. It's-
Decision of the administrative official.
What kind of?
Wait.
Hold it.
Touch seated, I'll just get here.
The decision of the administrative official would be appealed to the Board of Adjustment. The Board of Adjustment would make a ruling. If the ruling was in favor of the applicant, the city would have a right to appeal to the circuit court. If the ruling was in favor of the administrative official, the applicant would have a right to appeal to the circuit court. That's the procedure.